Hello everyone! So in this first model we will see what rare diseases are and how they affect different areas of the people who live with them, not only the one that have the disease but also their relatives, their families. To begin with, I would like to briefly introduce some of the main aspects about the rare diseases. The term rare diseases is a concept that encompasses a group of very different diseases, most of them genetically based and of low prevalence. They are defined as those that affect less than 5 patients per 10,000 inhabitants. These diseases present etiological complexity, diagnostic complexity, and evolutionary complexity, as well as significant morbidity or mortality. They lead to high levels of disability, which greatly hinders the development of normal life project, and not only for those who suffer them, but also for their families. So it is estimated that there are between 5,000 and 7,000 minority diseases that fall into this category, and this is why we often speak of the paradox of rarity, alluding to the fact that with a low individual prevalence, considered as a whole, these pathologies represent a very important fraction of the global burden of diseases. So, in fact, about 6 to 8% of the world's population is said to be affected by those diseases. The origin of 80% of them is genetic, and the other 20% of is unknown origin. They can affect anyone and often affect several members of the same family. Some of the characteristics of those diseases are that they are chronic and degenerative, they can be severe and disabling, as I said before. They are usually early, since out of 3 cases appear before the age of 2 years. They produce disability or lack of autonomy in the person that have them, and chronic pain. Normally they also produce motor, sensory, or intellectual development impairment, and there is a vital prognosis at stake in most of cases. They also have an important impact on the psychological and social areas. They affect the emotions of the person in the social context, like school, work, or among peers, in health, and of course the economic area. Regarding to health, there is a lack of access to the diagnosis. So not knowing what the disease is and not being able to diagnose it leads to situation of stress and uncertainty for the persons and for the people that have them and their families. Also, there may be situations of family breakdowns, despair, states of crisis, or things like that. So there is also a lack of information. The fact that the disease are so little known generates many unanswered questions, like how does it develop, who can help me, what do I do when I can no longer fend for myself. And also, there is a lack of scientific knowledge, and questions arise such as, why is nobody researching my disease? Why is no one investing in research? And they create despair, they create helplessness and indignation most of the time for the person that have them. So, and last but not least, there is a high cost of drugs and access to them, of course. Regarding the latter, something we tend to forget is that living with these diseases entails high economic costs. In many occasions, it can even lead to family impoverishment, and above all, because of expenses derived from alternative complementary treatments or that really are essential for the control of the disease, or also extra expenses in special foods or products or parapharmacy products. It can produce these situations in the economic area. So in many cases, the parents abandon their jobs to attend and spend more time with the child, among other things. So this is why one of the aspects to which we give a lot of importance is the sensitization and awareness of the problem, since, as I said before, although they are of low prevalence, as a whole, rare diseases represent a large number globally. It is therefore important for any professional to understand the family and the personal context of the children that are suffering from those diseases, and to take everything we just said in account as a starting point. So as I will repeat, in this model you will see what rare diseases are, the epidemiology, and their effects on people's lives.